What is happening, guys? Welcome to Pre-Ollie Skate Tricks Part 2. This is where we're going to interact with the environment around us, kind of for the first time ever. If you missed Part 1, that's where we got used to the board itself, got some deck feel under us, and did the rudiments. This time it's going to be a more open world-esque scenario, and what better place to do that than an open parking lot. The biggest reason you would want to be in an empty parking lot like this is because you'd have access to curbs that have a grade to them. And if you can find a place like back in this corner, there's this gradient to the actual asphalt itself. It goes up slightly. And these are the elements that are going to be in every single skate park that you ever go to. Just, these are extremely beginner friendly.
Nice, nice, very nice.
One of the biggest things that you need to work on is pushing, right? So let's go ahead and warm up with pushing. You learned how to do pushing in the last episode, how to do it correctly, how to go fast, how to go faster, things like that. But having a huge, long, open space like this, which you will not have at like any single skate park I've ever been to, has had a long, flat ground for you to learn how to push. Learning how to push and push well is really, really important. Honestly, it's really dangerous out there to push on the sidewalks and hit crosswalks, things like that. Find an empty parking lot and push to your heart's content till you get really good at pushing and pushing fast. And learning to push switch, which honestly, once again, when you're at the skate park, there's not a lot of time and a lot of space for pushing a lot. You push once or twice and you're going down a thing or up a thing. You're not continuously pushing, which I recommend, and it's a great warm-up anyway. I'll teach you how to start pushing switch with more control, so that way you can push across a parking lot switch too and get good at that. So this is regular for me. If I was riding regular, I would push, right? And you come up and you turn your foot sideways like we had learned in the other movie. Then we turn it forward again, right? And this time you keep rolling and kind of push the board in front of you, step to the other side, and step back on, switch, and try to push off again and turn your foot sideways. And what this does is it allows you to feel the exact same thing that you're doing on one side and then mirror it on the other, because it's hard to figure out how to hold your body when you're riding backwards, essentially. And the easiest way to do that is to turn toward your regular way of pushing that feels normal and natural. Do that for one push, step off, step over, and try to duplicate, try to mirror that feeling standing the other direction. Okay, like I had said before, you're gonna push off really, really easy with your regular foot and then turn into the regular position. You're gonna step off.
Step off?
No, it's okay, it's okay.
Push the board, step over the board, step on with your wrong foot, and turn yourself straight again. Then you're gonna push off with that foot, step on with your regular foot, and turn correctly. And keep repeating this until you feel way more comfortable, right? Rolling a little faster. And once you feel like you're comfortable in the switch position, try to push and turn and push and turn. I know you're standing backwards and it feels stupid, but if you remember back to when you first started, pushing regular felt just as stupid. And it's hard for people to go back to that feeling of being a newbie and pushing switch, because it feels so bad.
It's not okay.
But if you can learn how to push regular, you can learn how to push switch. Okay, so we've done the push foot switch thing. Now we're going to do 1 foot rides. Honestly, it's kind of more fun than you think it would be, and more challenging because we're going to do it regular and then you got to do it switch. So you find yourself a nice incline, or a decline if you will, and you go to the top of it and you push, and instead of putting your foot back on the deck, you just kind of stay on 1 foot and ride the entire hill on 1 foot. This will teach you really good balance because you don't want to fall, and be ready to abandon your board and run it out. Because what if you hit like a little pebble or something like this guy? It happens, and it can really devastate your day if you're not ready to jump off your board and run it out. And wear your gear, wear your gear, wear your helmet, wear your helmet. There we go, now we're going fast enough, and let's take our foot off. And hold it. Push, one push, hold it. Steer with the block. Just like that. And what's great is this builds up the musculature in your calves and your shins and your feet and your toes and everything, so that way you can control the board so much easier. Because if you can control it with one foot, you can definitely control it with 2 feet. So practicing doing it with 1 foot is very helpful. Give it a shot. Let me know what you guys think of it. All right, so we have warmed up. We did lots of pushing. We did 1 foot games. Now, time to mess with obstacles. I know it looks like not an obstacle, but on any incline, and especially a slight incline, to learn how to do this stuff is really helpful. Okay, so for our first activity on the incline is going to be rolling up it and back. But the first position we're gonna do is staying just like this, which would be rolling up regular. And when we roll backwards, that would be called fakie. Okay? Then the next time we roll up, we're gonna roll up and then switch our feet like this so that we're rolling back, switch.
Oh, now I'm confused.
Okay, so we're gonna go regular to fakie, regular to switch. And you just stay where you are and roll back. And keep control of yourself through the whole roll. So we're here, now let's switch. And now we're riding down switch, which is backwards. Regular to fakie. Oh, sorry, I didn't go as far. Regular to switch. And you got it. This time we're going to be doing switch to nollie and switch to regular. So let's go ahead and look at what those look like. Okay, turn your board around. So that way we're functioning backwards, just like we are with our feet. We're using our non-dominant leg. We're going to be doing switch. So when we roll up there, we're going to be going switch this way. And when we come back, you don't move your feet. And you'll be coming back nollie. Second time we go up, we're going to be going up switch. And when we come back, we're going to be switching our feet, so that way we're coming back down regular. So switch to nollie. And this time we're going to go switch and scoot, and now we're in regular. And now you should definitely know the difference between all of your positions by practicing this over and over and over again and getting used to going up and coming back down without going too fast. When you go to skate parks, most of the inclines and wedges are pretty intense. There's very few that have really chill inclines. So finding a really subtle one really helps with figuring all this stuff out without being like whoosh, whoosh. Okay, the next one is kick turns, which for some people front side is easier and other people backside is easier. So really figuring out which one that is going to be easier on a gradation like this. Skateboarding comes from surfing, and it has to do with which way the wave is to you as a surfer. So if you turn this way, the wave is behind you. And if you turn this way, the wave is in front of you. You understand? Okay, cool, very good. So I find backside kick turns way easier than front side kick turns. So then you push down and you turn your whole hip. So that way you turn the other way. And initially when you're learning, looking over your shoulder. I didn't do that, I'll do that this time. All right, so we're coming up. We're gonna need to look over our shoulder and go that way by turning our hips this way. Remember, you can take all of the things that we covered in the first episode of the Pre-Ollie skateboard tricks, and you can do them in these parking lots, and it feels like a whole new learning experience when you do them here. So like the baby drop-ins from the last episode of this. Come up to your wedge and do the baby drop-in on the wedge. So remember, have your foot pushing down and the other one ready to go, and lean forward with your shoulder. Okay, remember, put all your weight on the front foot. Just like that. Do anything you do in one place, you can do in other places for the most part. And it becomes a totally different experience. We're doing the same things on slightly different environmental, like, you know, doohickeys, obstacles, stuff, jazz. Let's get at the next trick in this series. Okay, now let's start messing with curbs by finding this curb that has a gradient to it. So it goes from like 0 curb to like 6 inches of curb. That's what you are looking for. So that way you can build yourself up to the feeling of riding off of something. Gradually, you're gonna start pushing down on your tail so that way all 4 wheels hit the ground at the same time. But let's go ahead and ride off the curb a couple of times and let our front wheels hit the ground first. And I'll show you even at the 6-inch line that you'll be able to ride away just fine if you let the front wheels hit first. And you'll be able to tell by what you hear. You'll hear 2 clacks instead of just 1 big clack. See how it's clack, clack? You see, even at that height, it had no problem hitting the ground and keep rolling. So don't think that when your front wheels hit the ground that you'll just stop dead and you'll go flying. That won't happen. See, that was a huge drop, and it still had no problem doing it. So don't be too scared.
It's okay, you're okay.
You are after lifting the front wheels off now. So as you go toward the curb, you're gonna wanna lift up your front wheels just a little bit, just like that. So let's give it a shot. Down on the lower end. What you heard that time was 1 clack. All 4 wheels hit the ground at the same time. Now let's do it a little bit higher. So obviously the faster you go off of the higher curbs, the easier it will be. The further you gotta go, the higher you've gotta come off of something, the faster you wanna be moving. I know it's scarier, but it actually makes it easier. Before you go to a skate park and you try to get on one of the obstacles and like grind or anything, let's feel what your trucks feel like trying to do stuff like that. And how I would do this is find some curb that's not waxed or anything. We're gonna take our trucks and we're gonna put them on the curb and slide them over till our wheels are snuggled up against the curb like that. Okay, but it's still on the truck, not the wheel, because you don't want it to roll, you want it to make that nasty, nasty sound. Right? Okay, now we can stand on the board. We're gonna stand on it front side and back side. Once again, is the wave behind you or in front of you? So if we're standing with our feet this way and we're facing away from the curb would be behind us, back side. But if we're facing the curb, like we're gonna be facing this way, then the curb would be front side. That's the wave. I'm gonna start this experience with backside, and we're here, know what this feels like, and kind of move the truck around on there, and you'll feel like, oh, okay, I kind of get it. So now let's lift up, and put our foot down, put it out, and put it back down. Let's pick it up. And this time, let's try to dip it down in front of the curb. Nice, and pick it back up. And let's put it back where it was when we started. Oh no, I was off. But that's the point of this, is to get used to that. Now, let's do it with our other foot. Oh, wow, all right. Oh, totally off. But I'm standing switch, so I expected that. Still off. Come on, put it down, Kelly. Now it's off that way, but better. Now let's dip it. Not supposed to tap it like that, but whatever. Doing it switch is so hard. Now we've experienced that. We know what our trucks feel like when we're trying to balance on the trucks, not the wheels, and do maneuvers. And you might fall off. It's okay. Just get back up. Do it again. All right, let's turn around and do the one that I don't like doing, which is front side once again. Anything front side usually bothers me. So let's do this real fast. Oh, don't fall off, Kelly, right away. 1, 2, 1. Let's dip it. And back on. And over. Oh, you went too far. There we go. And up, and down, and over, and down, and up, and up, up, and in, and over. Oh, and I'm falling. Okay, that is awesome. Now you got to experience it backside, front side. You've moved the board around in the air on both axles. Mess around, have a great time learning in a safe area, in a parking lot without the pressure. And definitely before you get to the skate park, so that way when you do go to mess with the obstacles at the skate park, you'll be a lot more confident in what it feels like before you get there. Okay, the next one we're going to do is a body varial. And that means we're going to take our entire body and we're going to jump 180 degrees and land back on the board, just like this. Okay, but we're going to do it in motion. And the big key to this is going to be to twist your arms, and when you go, you're going to want to look where you're going. So look that way and then move that way, and then do it the other way. Come down and boom. I know my helmet's really loose tonight. I don't know what's going on with that. Oh, I need to tighten it. At this point, not worrying about doing an ollie, but actually working on the parts of an ollie would be really, really beneficial and helpful. We had done the pop, clack, and switch in the last episode, and pretty much we were already doing some of the parts of the ollie. But this time, let's pull our foot back behind the bolts. We do our pop, pop, and then we're gonna slide the front of our foot right on the board, just like that. So what we're doing is we're sliding this part of our shoe right here, right on the middle of the board. So we go slide, and you're gonna mess up your shoe. That's the point. If you're messing up your shoe, you're doing it right. So let's do the pop, clack, and slide. We do the clack, switch, pop, clack, switch, pop. We do that thing, right? Well, instead of doing the switch, we're just going to do this, watch. We pop, we slide, we jump, and land. Let's do it from this side. We pop, we slide, we jump, we land. Let's do it from this direction. We pop, we slide, jump, we land. So when you put those parts together, you get the pop, the slide, the jump, and the land. That's how you do your ollie. All that came from the pop, the slide, the jump, and the land.
Nice, nice.
Pop, slide, jump, and land on it. The next one is called the nosebleed, and what it is we're gonna ride up real slow to the curb, just fast enough to get there, and we're gonna lift up our nose and set it on the curb. And then we're gonna step on the nose, and then we're gonna ride back off. Just easy peasy. Okay, so nosebleed. Real easy, right? Lift up, put it down. We're gonna push and come back off. That easy. And now let's do it with some gusto. Right. And that's it, guys. Let's do it again. And that's pretty much it. Okay, the next one is the nose stall, or nose bonk, if you want to call it that. You're gonna kind of ollie. You're gonna do like a facsimile, like what you would imagine. You kind of like push down on the tail, just a little pop, right? But have your other foot on the nose so that way you can jam it down onto the curb. And you land on your other foot on the curb. So you're gonna do it kind of like this. You're gonna come up, and right before the curb, you're gonna kind of pop and jump and land with your foot right here on the curb, right on the edge. And if you're aiming with the board at the edge of the curb, you'll be doing it right. And remember, it's just a little kind of a not really pop thing. You just kind of hop in a bit. Ready? And a little hop and off. You don't really have to know what you're doing or really know how to pop or anything. You just kind of hop into it. Push off the tail, and bam, and down. Okie dokie, guys, we are coming to the end of this thing. The last trick I have for you is a 90-degree nose stall and coming out to fakie. Real easy, we do our blunt and back out to fakie. Dun, dun, dun. This time we're gonna go front side to back side. Cha-boo-ba-doom. We're gonna do it in the opposite direction. A little twist, and we come out fakie the other direction. Give it a shot. Tell me what you think in the comments below about this and all of the other tricks. I hope this is helpful. Have a great time out there. I hope this inspires you to get out there and do more. Give it a shot. A squid shot.